and say, you know what, if financial literacy is not what you need, here are other flyers.
For the flyers that you can do. Okay,
So,
that's great.
Good.
We are good, and we are live on Facebook, and from what I understand, we are live on YouTube as well. Thanks to the magic of Professor Majama. I'm not hanging on, I'm carrying on. So, we have David that just walked in, and we have Mama Bear in the house. We have Uzi, and you guys, we're gonna have fun on this show today because we have something. I know, I'm just waiting for you. You tell me when we're ready to go.
3.
I'm just testing the mic and everything.
1. Go.
All right, good. It's still morning, right? 10:46. Good morning, Denver, Colorado people and people that are following us on our social media. And thank you for joining us this morning. We have a special show that we are bringing on for you, for our very, very unique committee, which is the Homeownership and Financial Committee. But let me just do a quick introduction here. So my name is Papa. I am the founder and executive director of the African Leadership Group, an organization that's been around, wow, time flies, for 18 years, with a mission and a vision to facilitate the professional integration of the African diaspora through social, economic, and educational impact. So today we have a specific show put together and organized by our Homeownership and Financial Committee, and their main job and focus is to really help the community to be homeowners and make sure that the financial literacy and education that's needed in the community is happening. So this work, we cannot do it without a sponsor and people that help us. We have a specific program that the Homeownership is putting together on Saturday, October 21st. We'll talk more about it here with the details, and I'll be joined by other people that serve on the committee to tell you more about it. So, as we know, if we are talking about generational wealth, I strongly believe that it starts by us as communities to own our own home. So whatever it is, I strongly believe that we need to own building, we need to own real estate, whatever it is. So if we are in the cycle of depending on people by renting, we'll never get there. But we know the process and the journey of owning a home is not easy, especially for those of us like me that came to this country as immigrants. It's a different system, and sometimes it's very important to be in an environment that people are passionate about helping and supporting you. That's what we're going to be talking about. Now, this work is only possible because of our sponsors, our funders, and today I am joined by one of our sponsors, Chase Bank, and the African Leadership Group have a long-lasting relationship with Chase Bank. Started with my dear friend Tony, that we were together at the same bank that we were working on together, and Chase has been supporting the African Leadership Group for the last few years on this effort of just preparing community members to become homeowner. I am joined by Daryl Crack, and as you can see, I don't know, I was telling him I don't know how I can pull it off with a beard like his that looks so cool, but he definitely showed up ready to go, dressing to impress. You gotta tell our viewers now, what's the deal behind this?
It's just something I've been growing for the last year, and I just try to keep up on it, keep the maintenance up on it. I think it comes down to like 2 haircuts a week to keep this all in line, because I'm in and out of meetings all day. But I'm just happy to be a part. Thank you for the invite. Anytime we can reach out to the community and talk about home ownership, it's always great. I like to get out there and just provide information and resources.
So thank you for joining us. Tell the communities a little bit about yourself, and how did you get to banking, and how did you get to being passionate on what you do?
Right, I think it was always home ownership. My mom bought her first house, I think when I was 15, and I saw the impact that made on our lives with the stability and stuff, and I thought, well, I want to get into financing and help people to achieve their goals. So I got in about 2006, then I got out of the business. I've been in and out, and I've been at Chase for 6 years now. I'm under the Helen Randall, which is my lending manager, that does a lot of stuff throughout the community as well.
So now, let's dive deep. I have a couple of questions I want to ask you. As somebody from the community, what does this partnership mean to you? First of all, as a community members coming from the minority community, and also as somebody that's working for Chase, what does this partnership mean to you guys with the African Leadership Group?
It's huge. Just like I said, anytime you're able to get out in front of people and just provide information about the path of homeownership, it's just, I appreciate what you guys do and all the stuff that you guys do, and I thank you for letting me be a part of this.
That's great. But also, as community members, there's a lot of banks out there, and I'll tell you what I like about Chase, and when I sat down with Tony the first time and met with other leaders within Chase, I told them we are a very action-oriented organization, right? And right there, Chase will involve and just follow up and really implementing things that definitely has an impact. Could you share with our viewers what could we expect, what Chase can offer, and what could we expect out of this relationship, especially when it comes to home ownership?
Right. So right now, I mean, the current rates is a volatile market. Rates are up and down. We're offering a lock and shop program. What that does is it allows you, without a property, to lock in your interest rate. You know exactly what your payment's going to be, and you have 60 days to find a property. By the 60th day, you have to be under contract, and when we have 30 days to close. So we're giving customers the option to be able to know what their payment is in a volatile rate market and lock in for a long term without having a property address. We are also offering a $5,000 home buyer grant. That's just free money that we give you as long as it's located in certain census tract. And then if you're a veteran, we offer an additional $2,000. So up to $7,000, you can get in credits towards your purchase, which can be used to buy your interest rate down, making home ownership more affordable.
I want to come back to that, and I want us to go over step by step. Again, for our viewers, if you are joining us just now, you joined the African Leadership Group Home Ownership and Financial Committee, and we are getting ready for an amazing workshop with a barbecue. We're going to be having fun, and it's going to be taking place on Saturday, August 21st at the African Leadership Group office from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Not only are you going to come and get educated and get information on how you own your home, guess what? It's going to be fun. We're going to have some music. David and Laura, they just told me they are both chefs, and they're going to be flipping the burgers, and you're going to be having some ribs. So please note it and mark it down. Saturday, October 21st at the African Leadership Group office from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. More to come. Now, Derek, I want to come back because you share some very valuable program that Chase is offering.
Yes.
Let's take it step by step, because I want us to use it in a term where community members can understand. So if I'm a community member and I'm not a homeowner, I'm walking into a Chase bank, walk me through the process. Who do I need to talk to? What do I need to bring? And what are those programs that I can benefit from?
Yeah, so when we sit down for an initial consultation, there's just a few documents you're going to need to bring with you. I'm going to need the last 2 years W-2s if you're a W-2 employee, the most current 30 days pay stubs, as well as any checking or savings account information just to verify how much funds you have in order to provide towards the purchase. From there, what I'm going to do is need to bring your last 2 years tax returns. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do an analysis and figure out how much of that income we're able to utilize. A lot of business owners are under the impression that they make more money than what they really do, but the taxable income ends up being different. So it's very important to, if you are self-employed, to get in with a home lending advisor to kind of calculate what your income is going to look like. From that first initial interview, I'm going to calculate everything. We're going to pool your credit, and you're going to have to be within certain ranges within, I believe Chase requires a 620 to enable to do a purchase. From there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run everything through, and then we're going to get an automated approval on it. It's going to tell us how much you're pre-approved for, the amount, what your down payment's going to look like, everything. I'm going to give you a sheet with a detailed breakdown of what all the closing costs are, and then that's when we bring in a realtor like David. David, what he's going to do is you're going to identify properties that you have that are located. You're going to say, I'm going to see X amount of properties this weekend. I'm going to check all the addresses to make sure that they're eligible for the $5,000 grant. And I'll say, okay, this one's eligible, this one's eligible. And then I'm going to tell you, okay, if we use the $5,000 in order to buy the rate down, this is where your interest rate's going to live up. So we can target properties that have seller incentives and combine that with the Chase Home Buyers Grant to bring it to where you need to be to make it affordable for you.
Now, you say a $5,000 grant.
Yes, sir.
So can you expand, is the money that do they have to pay back, or is it, so tell them, because when people hear about bank giving money, they always, there's a catch somewhere.
Well, the bank is incentivized to lend in low to moderate areas. So the sensing tracking is determining whether or not that area is that, and then if it is in that area, we give you $5,000. So that's all there is.
So in another word, the bank, Chase is giving a $5,000 to people as long as the house is located in some area.
Yes.
And these people are not paying the $5,000 back in any
not.
shape or form?
No.
Well, you heard it. So Chase Bank, one of our sponsors, have an amazing program where, as a community members, if you are looking to purchase a home, they have a grant program. You could start with $5,000, and that's $5,000 grant that you don't have to pay back. Now, with this $5,000 grant, can they still qualify for first-time home buyer program? Can they still qualify for additional programs?
Yes, yeah. So that's just an addition to. So we give it in addition to. So you'd still be eligible for all programs, and we'll give you the $5,000. So they're stackable. Just like I said, if you're a vet, you get an additional $2,000. So you can get up to $7,000 if you're a vet, and then the property's located in a low to moderate area.
So for those of you that know me, in my previous life, you know that I was a banker. I spent 18 years in the banking industry, and I know how challenging it was for most members of our community to get approved for mortgage loan, right? Because program like this, we couldn't have it and see it back then. So, and what I like with the relationship with Chase Bank, because most banks will tell you that we want to give back to the community, we want to involve in the community, but you never see them to participate in such a thing. And Chase has been doing this for many years with the African Leadership Group. My ask of every single one of you, if you are looking to purchase a home, start with those banks that are supporting us, start with those banks that are financially supporting us, start with those banks that are really involved in the community, and Chase is one of those organizations that's been doing that for the last 2 years. Just give them a try, right? Now, when people, they can walk into any location. If they want to contact you, which number do they call? How does it work?
Well, I prefer they come into my location. I'm at the downtown Denver branch, and the telephone number I can be reached at is area code 303-901-9121.
Can you repeat that number one more time?
Yes, sir, 303-901-9121. And just give me a call. Let's talk about your situation. I mean, if you're still at the beginning of the process and you don't want to have your credit pulled, let's just figure out what your budget looks like and then get you set up on a search. And if you find something you do based on the income that we kind of talked about at the initial part, we can get you pre-approved and moving forward. So if you're at the beginning, don't hesitate to reach out. All questions are great questions, and I'd love to be able to answer those for you. And
now, people that cannot make it to downtown, they call you.
Yes.
I'm assuming you can meet with them anywhere that's convenient,
anywhere
right?
they want to meet, yes.
All right. So you hear it. So Daryl will bring the bank to you. Anywhere that's convenient, he will come and meet with you. So again, Chase Bank is sponsoring and supporting African Leadership Group. Give them a try. You heard some of their programs that you have, and there are some additional programs that you may qualify for. So Daryl, I have just this last question. Why did Chase want to partner with ALG? Why this is so valuable and so important to Chase Bank?
I think it goes down to the relationship you had with Tony. I mean, Tony's very passionate when speaking about partnering with ALG. And he just tells me about the great things that you guys do. So anytime Tony comes to me and he's like, hey, Daryl, you got to go over to ALG. And I'm like, I'm always up for it. So we appreciate the partnership. Thank you for having us out. Just telling you guys about programs and promotions we have available. We appreciate the partnership and anything we can do to help. I think they put me on grill duty or something this weekend. So I'll be on the grill cooking out at the event this Saturday.
Well, you've heard it. Daryl will be here on Saturday, October 21st. So, and I'm pretty much sure he will be easy to find because he's the only one that can pull it off with a beard that looks this good. So, brother, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Any last words?
No, I appreciate you guys. Again, give me a call if you have any questions. That's 303-901-9121. Again, 303-901-9121. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, brother. And he will be here on Saturday, October 21st here at the African Leadership Group from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And now I'm going to invite a couple of other members of the home ownership and financial community. So Daryl, thank you so much. So we'll see you on the 21st. So it was a pleasure. So as we are transitioning to bring Laura and David, I just want to share with you guys quickly what we have coming up. And again, it is at the African Leadership Group on Saturday, October 21st. Again, as community members, I want to really take the time to, and we have a lot of success story, a lot of community members that, never thought that they could be positioned to be a homeowner, but because of the work that the home ownership and financial literacy is doing under the leadership of B. Gonzalez, so those people are homeowners. So now I'm going to invite a couple of other members that are that is part of the home ownership that are really been involved in doing this work, and I'm just impressed about how much they care, right? How much they care about this work, how much they get excited anytime they get somebody into becoming a homeowner. So, and as you know, the journey of being a homeowner starts with establishing your credit. So I'm joined here by Laura. Laura, not only she works for Operation Hope, but also she's part of the big African Leadership Group family. Those of you that has come to many events of African Leadership Group, Professor was just telling me that she was the winner of the Dress to Impress contest at the gala during African Impact. And Laura, it's such an honor and a pleasure to have you part of this family, to just see your heart, how much you care. So thank you for joining me. So tell the community who you are, what you've been doing with LG, and why you are so passionate about this work.
So thank you for the invite. Once again, I love being part of the Homeownership Committee. And the reason why, or my why, is because I love a community that is educated and that is able to make decisions with the right information. And so I'm here to do that. I'm here to talk to them about credit, the importance of it, not just through homeownership, but throughout our life, right? Because especially when we come from a different country and we don't understand how the economic system and the finances work here, it makes it a little bit more difficult to make decisions because we don't know.
We don't know. We
Yeah.
don't know. Well, I can tell you that as far as the community and the organization is concerned, it's been truly a blessing to have you part of this family. So I cannot thank you enough. I did see your husband volunteering also.
He did.
So I mean, and that's what the African Leadership Group is about. It's a family affair. And for you, not only you show up, but you show up and you stay and you continue to be here. And now you are bringing your family. So just thank you so much. We are extremely grateful. Now, you work for Operation Hope. Tell the community a little bit about Operation Hope. Who they are, what do they do, and how do they work with community members?
Yeah, thank you. So Operation Hope is a financial literacy educational nonprofit. We have several programs that all have to do with educating our community. Our services have no cost at all. We do credit and money management, home ownership, counseling, foreclosure prevention, business entrepreneurial. And again, our goal at the organization is to have an educated community so that we are able to prosper together.
So I'm going to pause there and just go over very quickly what Laura shared with us. Laura just shared with us that with Operation Hope, it's a nonprofit organization that works with community members to help them, not only to build their credit, but with the financial literacy and help you on the journey of establishing your credit at no cost. Is it what you're telling me?
That's right. That's correct.
So if you are out there engaging with people, because I know I've been involved in this community, I've seen it where people has been taking advantage of, with some people telling them. And the way I see it is, in our community, I have issue with my credit, mainly because I haven't been able to pay my debt, right? And I'm coming to you and asking you to help me with my credit, and on top of that, you're making me create more debt because you're asking me to pay you $2,000, whatever the cost is. With Operation Hope, you don't have to worry about that. You just need to go, and they will help you, and you don't have to pay. So now, how do they engage? What does it look like? Where do they go?
That's a really good question. So typically our client creates a profile on our website, operationhope.org. Once they have created a profile, they register for the program of their choice. If it is credit and money management, which is what we're talking about, they will be assigned with a coach that is close to their area, 40-mile radius. If they don't like that coach or don't want to work with that coach or prefer somebody else completely different that is not in the community, they can choose a virtual coach. And that virtual coach helps them. It guides them through the beginning of the process, and then they do follow-ups as often as the client wants to receive that follow-up. So the client has access to their credit report through one of the main credit reporting agencies, which is TransUnion, and then they are able to schedule follow-ups with their own calendar. They have access to it, and we pull the report as often as they want. Something good to know is that it is a soft pull, so we don't hurt their credit score if they already have been working on building it. And then after that, once they feel like they're comfortable and a good score, then we graduate them from the program.
And in another word, and this is me saying, you just come to this workshop and Laura will be here. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you, she's the best coach that anybody could ever ask for. So don't even bother to say, I'm going to try somebody else. I know she won't tell you how amazing she is, but working with her and seeing her into action, she's the best coach. So you just come on Saturday, October 21st, between 2 and 6 p.m. Laura will be here. She has a duty also of flipping burgers. And not only she will help you with your credit, guess what? She will feed you as well. Mm-hmm. So let's take a step back. So I just don't want to assume that everybody that listening and watching us know what credit score is. Mm-hmm. So give them just a brief description on what is credit score. How does it work?
So credit score itself is the value that you have received by all the lenders that you have acquired a line of credit from. This is what they say that your value is, right? So your score can go anywhere from 300 to 850. If you are above the 730, you're considered excellent, which is typically a very good tool. At this point, the report becomes a good tool for you to be lendable, for the bank to say, yes, I trust you, you have really good credit, I will lend you to buy your home. If you are in a score that is pretty low, or you are non-existent because you may not have any, then that's when we need to work on improving that credit score or building it.
How do we build it?
So there's several ways. The fastest one is to be added as an authorized user to a line of credit, like a credit card, for example. That's the fastest way. If the person wants to give you access to the credit card, that's their choice. Okay. But we typically recommend they don't. They just add you as an authorized user, so your name is on that line of credit. And if they have really good payment history, they don't use it up a lot, they have really low balances, then their history will reflect on you. But if they do bad with that one, that also reflects on you. So it has to be somebody that you know is really good with their finances and manages their credit really well.
All right, let's take it to this step now. For the longest time, as community members, we knew about TransUnion, we knew about Equifax, we knew about Experience. Mm-hmm. But what is Vantage Score? So now you hear all this new terminology. Yeah. So what is Vantage Score?
So Vantage Score is the simulation of what FICO eventually invented, right? The algorithm. And so many applications like Credit Karma or the one that your bank offers for you to monitor your credit uses that simulation system, which is called Vantage Scoring. So when you go into a lender or a realtor and you're like, I have a really good score, my app says that I have a 730, take it with a grain of salt, because it may not necessarily be 730 once they actually pull it through FICO, because you're using a simulation and not the actual scoring system.
So in another word, if I'm looking to buy a home, I should not solely rely on the score that I see on Credit Karma or the Vantage Score system?
That's correct. It's a good tool, and it's a good gauging point. but it is not going to be your determining point, especially when the lender pulls your credit.
Look, community members, I will tell you, even somebody like me that spent many years in banking, I'm still confused with all this Vantage score and all this simulation. And please, hear me out here. Make it a point to sit down with Laura. She will hold your hands, get you through the process, get you through the simulation system, and tell you exactly how do you build your score before you go meet with the lender. Don't try to do this by yourself. Again, make it a point to come on Saturday, October 21st here at the African Leadership Group, and she will get through the process with you. So now, when people come here to meet with you on the 21st, what should they bring with them?
Just their ID. Our initial appointment or the conversation that we will have, hopefully I get to answer some of the main questions that they will have, because we have a brief time, right? We don't have the whole hour or whatnot to help them. And then I will take in their information and send them a link to register for our program. And then after that, will do the follow-up. So the ball will be on their court if they sign up, if they register for the program, if they create their profile, and then eventually make the appointment with me.
You've heard it. All you got to bring is just your ID. Now, we have a lot of newcomers, people that are here just for last year or the last 2 years. Is the process different for the newcomers, or is it the same?
So if, lending is a little different, of course, because they need to have had established their taxes, their employment history. So that's a different part from the credit portion, because credit is, if you have never established credit, you can easily do it within 7 months.
Okay.
And so it's a little different, like the criteria for credit is a little different than it would be for the actual lending portion. But if they have just gotten here, they don't have an ID, I do need to have an ID, whether it is from maybe the passport from their country.
Okay.
If they don't have a social security number, they're in the process of obtaining one. We can still at least build their profile and maybe work on budgeting, so that way they know if they are fit to buy a home, right, financially. And then once they get their social number, we can start working on the credit portion.
Okay, so let's take it to a really more specific.
Okay.
Specific to the people in the concept of buying a home. What's happening to medical debt collection? So I am here, I want to buy a home. I remember that I was in the hospital and I was not able to pay, and those medical debt are showing my colleague, even under $500 or more. So do I need to pay those? How do I deal with the medical debt in the process of purchasing a home?
So that's a really good question. So there was recently a law that was signed, or a bill that was passed, where it says that any medical collection that is under $500 will immediately be removed from your credit report. And at this point, if a lot of people saw a huge jump on their credit score, if they had medical collections in the past and now it's higher on their scoring, it's because those collection accounts were removed. If they were below the $500, if they are above the $500, they still need to be negotiated. They need to be repaid. So in that aspect, we help them to collect the right wording to use when they're negotiating it with the collection agency.
Okay, let me recap here, because I want to make sure also our community members want to hear this and say, okay, let me go to the hospital and have a medical bill of $500 and I won't pay it. But it has to be a debt collection, meaning it's been sitting in your credit for quite some time. You don't have to worry about it, but it cannot be a new debt that you haven't paid because it's going to lower your score. Am I on the right track?
So if it's already been sitting on your credit report, like you mentioned, then we will remove, it will get removed automatically from your credit report.
Okay.
If it is a new one, because you just recently went after the bill was passed, then that means the hospital still has it, and they have 12 months to collect from you before they start putting it on your credit.
Yes. All right, you heard it. There was a bill that was passed. If you had some medical collection bill that's been in collection, meaning for the last 2 years and things like that, and it is under $500, so it's been most likely removed from your credit report, and you don't have to worry about it. Only if it is under a $500. However, again, my recommendation is come here, sit down with Laura, and she will get you through the process. Now, how long do the paid collections stay on my report? Because I know sometimes all of a sudden, and they've been there for some time, and they're gone. How long does this debt stay on your report?
So the statute of limitation for Colorado is 7 years. So, you pay it, and you don't use the right wording to have it removed from your credit report at the moment you paid it. They will only report that it's been paid to the credit bureaus, and the collection itself still stays there, and it still hurts your credit. Okay, so you need to be very aware of the wording that you're going to choose to negotiate, having it removed from your credit report after you pay, like when you give the last payment. But if you don't do that because you didn't know, you didn't come to the barbecue and homeownership workshop, and you only paid it, and now you're like, okay, what do I do now? We have to wait the 7 years. That is the statute of limitation in Colorado to have it removed. You can email or submit a dispute with the 3 credit bureaus and hope that they remove it, but they don't have to. It is an at-will thing.
So now, from experience engaging with community members, and I know for fact, most of us, we have a bad credit, and we are so frightened to even look into it.
Yes.
Like we are so scared. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know what's happening. What advice do you have for community members that are in this stage or feel this type of way, where you know what, I have anxiety even I look at it, I don't want to have a conversation. What advice do you have for those people?
I always say the worst thing you can do is not be informed.
Okay.
That is the worst thing. Once you know, like you pull your credit report and you know where you're at, then you know what is your next step. You know where to move to. Whether that is, 5 years ago I had a collection, now it's gone, I never reviewed my credit report. Well, if you never reviewed it and you stayed with that mentality of I had bad credit or I have bad credit, you will never know if this, like the law that just passed, right, for the collection accounts, medical ones. So now you're like, okay, now I'm good. Now I know where I am with my credit. I know the 2-3 things that I need to work on that are negative, and then, I'll be good in the next year or so to buy a home.
And I'm pretty much sure you don't have to do it by yourself. Is there a system or program to help people paying off their debt?
I'm sure there are organizations, and there are probably other foundations that are able to help individuals pay for it. It's a matter of just finding what those resources are.
So now, and this is something that Operation Hope and Laura can help me navigate to get me to the right person to negotiate how to pay off this debt, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so our goal at the organization is to educate the client. That's the huge difference between a debt repayment program or a credit repair agency where they do all the work for the individual. We don't. We educate you so that you can make the negotiations yourself. I am a strong believer that if you know how hard it is going to take you to repair it, you will not commit the same mistake again.
I totally agree. I totally agree. So most of us came from a culture of borrowing or owing money is not a good thing. We all came from that culture, and most of us sometimes we try to live our life here without borrowing, and we think like, I don't have to worry about paying anything. So how important it is to build a credit, and can you build a credit without borrowing?
I don't think you can build a credit without borrowing, because you have to have a trade line, right? Does it mean you have to stay with the debt all the time? Not necessarily. I think there's a huge misunderstanding with people thinking that they have to carry a balance on a credit card, for example, from a month to month, and that's not true. Like if you pay it off every month to zero, you're still building your credit. You're still in really good standing. You don't have to leave a balance there. Is it good for the lender, for the bank? Absolutely, because you're going to pay them a little bit of interest, but do not keep a large balance that you're carrying over to the next month. So you do have to have debt. I think there's debt that is good, like your home. You're paying for it. it's eventually going to be yours. So there's good debt and then there's bad debt.
But you cannot establish credit without borrowing somehow.
You cannot establish credit without borrowing it.
Okay. So you don't have to carry over the debt every month or thing, but you can borrow and pay it off. That will allow you to establish credit. For those of us that came from the cultural background that borrowing is bad, so be comfortable to know that in order to build my credit, I need to borrow and have a good history of paying back, and that's how you establish. That's
right. And you don't have to borrow big amounts of money, right? Like there's people who believe that they have to buy a vehicle of like $40,000 for them to start establishing credit. That's not true. You can start establishing credit with a personal loan of $1,000 or $2,000, a secured one. Or you can start it with a secured credit card that is probably a minimum of $300. It will do the same thing that another one for $10,000 will do.
You know, quite often when you come to credit, we hear the term debt to ratio. What is a debt to ratio?
Debt to income ratio?
Yeah.
So the debt to income ratio is the difference between your minimum payments and your monthly income.
Okay.
That's the debt to income ratio. And typically a lender will have a better idea of how much you can borrow by them looking at that particular thing. And they can see that through your credit report. Because they can see all your trade lines there and your minimum. And then they also add an additional one for your daily expenses that are not typically reported on our credit report.
And again, you don't have to know it all, but the most important thing is to hang out with people that can help you. And one of those is this person sitting here, Laura, that's part of the Home Ownership and Financial Committee, that's going to be with us here on Saturday, October 21st from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the African Leadership Group office. Again, all you got to do is to show up with your ID. She will spend time with you, just go over the basic information and have a follow-up. So she will be able to educate you, to inform you on all the proper next step and everything you need to know about your credit, not only to position you to buy a home, but to build generational wealth for you and your family. So now, the last question that I have for you, you are originally from Mexico. Why this work is so important to you, and how has it impacted you personally and your family and your community?
So the work itself is important because coming from a different country, I remember my parents not really understanding how the whole system worked, right? It was like a paycheck to paycheck living every day. And for me, that was good when I was young because I didn't know any better. But now I would like for our community to think of how can I progress? How can I educate myself? How can I do better? How can I build generational wealth? And a lot of the ways through build generational wealth is to acquire property.
So now, if you're going to share one impact story, somebody from our community or whatever that you engage with, and you were able to take them here where now they build that generational wealth, without mentioning name, is there any impact story that you can share with our viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of them, that I have already talked to, just need that push, just need that accountability partner of like, you can do it. This is what your income looks like. This is what your credit looks like. What are you waiting for? A lot of people was like, oh, I'm going to wait until the house prices go down. Now the interest went up. And now they're like, oh, I'm going to wait until the interest go down. When is it going to be the right time? Is it going to be when the houses are like super low and then the interest is super low? Because that may not happen again.
That is true.
So right now is the time.
Well, Laura, I want to take the time, and for sure, you are part of this family, you are part of this community, you are part of us, but I really want to take the time to thank Operation Hope as an organization for the amazing work that they are doing in the community, because if they did not have that amazing outreach, we wouldn't have the opportunity to get you involved. I think as an organization, they are doing an amazing work, and to have people like you, to be part of our committee, to be part of our community. So I'm just grateful to have Operation Hope and to have you to work with us. So
Thank you.
extend that gratitude to whoever at Operation Hope that need to hear this, but they're doing amazing work in the community.
Thank you. I will let them know for sure.
Yeah. So what is your last word and what people should expect on the 21st?
Come with your family, come to have a good time, come to enjoy some food at the barbecue, and also come with questions and be prepared to receive sometimes harsh answers and sometimes answers that will guide you in the right direction towards homeownership.
Well, thank you so much, Laura.
It's my pleasure.
So as we are transitioning to our next guest here, David, so I just want to take the time to kind of wrap up this segment of credit, establishing credit and getting ready for purchasing your home. We have Professor Majama, part of our community, that wrote this book that talk about Faded to Win, 7 steps to finding meaningful success. This is Professor Majama's book that talk about success. And I believe that when we talk about success, building generational wealth is part of it, right? So if you haven't had a chance to put your hand on this book, please, you can find it on Amazon or you can stop by the office. But as a community, we are all about preparing our community members to the journey of being successful. And we believe that the more you can read this book, the more it will prepare you to identify the steps. And one of those steps is showing up to this barbecue and homeownership financial workshop on Saturday, October 21st here at the African Leadership Group, to take that first step. And everything got to start by showing up. So talking about showing up, we have the amazing David here.
What's going on, man?
Good to see you, brother. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you first and foremost with what you do.
Thanks for having
and being part of this family.
I love it.
Why ALG is so important to you? Why do you keep showing up to this organization, to this community?
That's easy, because you care.
That's right.
You
That's
care.
right.
I mean, you give great leadership and you're helping people out. And more so than anything, you educate them on how to be successful in life. So that's not hard.
So, and before even we talk about this, we have a lot of real estate broker out there. We have a lot of financial institution out there. We have a lot of lenders out there.
Right.
And maybe they haven't had the opportunity to be involved in not just the African Leadership Group, any organization out there, maybe the outreach is not there. How important it is for you and for them to be open to that opportunity of outreach, to be involved in organization like the African Leadership Group?
Well, we as people in our community, more so than anything, is us being informed. A lot of times, there's a lot of misconception that I can't do this, or I can't do that, or I'm in this certain situation. And being informed will get you a long way in life, period. And, that's a lot about this industry. We used to hear all the time, well, you need 20% down to get a home. No, not really. There's a lot of people out there and a lot of organizations out there that you don't need 20% to get in a home. As a matter of fact, some as low as 3% down payment. And there's a lot of assistance out there, especially for first-time home buyers, that people just don't know. They're not informed. So, my thing is more so than anything, I was president of NAREB, not social real estate brokers. And our job is more so than anything, just get people informed. Get people to understand that generational wealth is possible. Owning a home is special. It really is. I mean, it's
Sure.
You own something instead of renting something. And you know the philosophy. I mean, if either you're paying for your own home or you're paying for somebody else's home. That's reality. Because the place you renting is, you paying their bills.
Yep.
So wouldn't you want to be out of that situation? Instead of, we was in college and did our thing. Every 6 months, we moved to the next place because they raised the rent.
Right. Yes.
Every 6 months, we kept moving.
Yep. Yep.
But they're making money and you really losing money. And the system made in the United States is that, the tax advantages and everything else is really to the homeowners. And then you have the pride of homeownership. And then you start building that equity.
Human being always. And as you can see through the panel of experts that we have, Daryl as an African American, Laura as a Hispanic, and David also, but we all care about people. We all care about having that impact. So if you are a real estate broker, you are a lender, and you are part of an organization, you have an amazing program. It won't help anybody if you don't have that outreach. And just to tell you, as an African leadership group, as the leader of this organization, we are all about partnership and collaboration as long as the end goal is to have an impact in our community.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter what your background is. If you have the heart to care the same way we do,
yes,
that's helping people, we welcome you with open arms. I just wanted to point out that. So David, and you've been in this industry for how long?
18 years.
Tell us the journey. What happened 18 years ago when it started, and what's happening now in the market?
Well, believe it or not, I started when it was at 8%.
When it was at what, 8%?
8%, and I heard that, talking to some of the old realtors, man, it was all the way up to 15% at one time. So, just hearing them, when I got in 8%, I always had great credit, me having great credit, I got mine at 7%. So I would feel good at 7%. Now, things have just changed, man. I mean, it went all the way down to, 2% at one time during COVID. But that was exceptions to the rule. Usually standard was probably around the 5%, around that 5% area when we, prior to COVID. COVID, it was a special situation. They wanted people, to keep buying homes, so they lowered the interest rates. Now, everybody keeps saying it's going up, and it's going up, and you can say, well, I'm going to wait till the rates go down. I say, the rates might not go down. So what are you going to do then? And keep going up. But it is ways to get around that. It's workarounds to get people into homes. They call them buy-down rates, and certain things you need to do. You got to make sure you get with the right people who can help you, inform you, and give you the opportunity to get a home.
So is it fair to say, while people might be saying, I'm going to wait until the rate go down, is it fair to say while you are waiting for the rate to go down, most likely your rent will go?
The rent is still going up, unfortunately. In some instances, I heard that, depends on where you're at, you might have just a little bit lower rent, but it's still, you getting the home is always typically lower. Your monthly rate is usually still lower if you get the home itself. So if you're going to pay for it, why don't you pay for your own home? So that's what, I always tell people, but it's always workarounds. It's always out there people that's willing to help people if you really want to get a home. And, Operation Hope is great. And, like you say, you have a whole lot of credit companies out there, but if you go to them, you got to be real talk. I have issues with my credit. You really want to work it out? Go with Operation Hope. It's about you and your want. If you really want to do it, they do it, and it's a free service. So you have no excuses.
You have no excuses.
Just like getting a home. If you're not really ready to get a home and you're not really to put the work in to get a home, you probably won't going to be able to keep a home. Because I'm in the business of not only you get the home, I want you to keep it.
Keep it, that's true. It's more important.
If you get in the home and then the next year you don't have a home, or 2 years from there, what's the whole point? It's about getting in there, and keep it at home and understanding your situation.
Well, if you just tune in to join us, you join the African Leadership Group with the Homeownership and Financial Committee for an amazing workshop and event. And it's going to be a lot of fun that we are getting ready for. It's going to be on Saturday, October 21st from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the African Leadership Group office. So, David, just tell our viewers, when they come here on the 21st, what do they expect? What should they expect?
First of all, bring your family.
Right on.
We're gonna eat some food. We're gonna dress down. So we're not gonna be in your suit and tie. You're not gonna be intimidated.
Yes.
We're gonna cook you some. No swine though. No pork. So it's not gonna be any pork. It's gonna have turkey. You're gonna have turkey and beef.
Lamb and beef. Yes.
Yes. So we keeping it pretty simple. So
Yes.
So just come, have a good time, get some information. And it's just, you get time to sit down and ask the question that you know, in private. So nobody else, you get to get in the private room separate and ask the question they need to. You got 15 minutes. And then the person that you're sitting down with, you can set up a time to speak with them more extensively later. So it's about acquiring information. How do I get a home? What's the process? What's the steps? And we'll help you through the whole journey, even if it takes a year or 2 years. If you're willing to put the work in, you got people.
Talent, right? I have some talent. So now, David, share with our viewers some impact story. Have you had a chance to work with some community members? And you don't have to mention name.
Yes.
Where you walk away and you say like, I am fulfilled.
Yes. Well, anytime that I work with some community members and people felt that relief go away from them, from me helping them, and the smile on their face means everything to me. That's, you want to see that smile on their face and you want to say that kid, yes, I'm a homeowner. It's nothing better in the world for us when you sitting down with that person. It's nothing. It's the feeling, you feel that I've done it. I filled my goal. And then you like to see the next step after that. Now, I got my house, but now, I'm David, I want to get an upgrade now. I want to get that vacation home now. It's good being through the journey, especially, I've been in the business 18 years, and my business is all referral business.
That's true.
So that's a blessing, to me, when they calling you and it's like, hey, David, I'm ready to upgrade. I'm ready to go here now. And from when they was here, it's just a blessing, man. It really is.
Well, David, it's been truly amazing to have you part of the journey. And I can tell you, community members, as a leader of this organization, in summary, we got you. It doesn't matter where you are. And these people, they won't judge you. All they care about is helping you. And when we help you, we help our community.
Yes.
And that's all they care about. And if you've been around the African Leadership Group, you know that every single person that's part of this organization, they care. They are not here to take advantage of anybody. Otherwise, they wouldn't be part of this organization. I can tell you that. I wouldn't let that happen to any of us. And all these people, they care. They want to look out for your best interest, for the best interest for your family, for the best interest of the community. It doesn't matter if you have bankruptcy. It doesn't matter if you have your car repo. It doesn't matter where you are. The most important thing in life is to start. Start somewhere. And starting with the right people already is a win. And that's what you will have the opportunity to gain when you come here on Saturday, October 21st. Now, it's just from 2 to 6 p.m. So just look into your schedule now, make arrangement. Obviously, it's going to be busy, but get here early, have fun, meet with every single of these members of the Homeownership and Financial Committee to get the journey of owning a home or to the journey of upgrading, the journey of selling, whatever it is. Or you might say, you know what, all I want to do now is to work on my credit, even better. So Laura will be here to help you.
Absolutely.
So David, what's your last word to the community members?
It's about generational wealth, taking care of your family. That's if you do that, then you can educate your kids to be successful in the future.
Yeah. So, thank you so much, David. And again, fade it to win. When we talk about generational wealth, when we talk about success, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at Professor Majama's book, please do so. And again, you can get it on Amazon, or you can stop by the African Leadership Group. When we talk about success story, this is one of them. This man started as teaching the class. Now he's a professor, and he's been elevated to a dean. So he's traveling around the world and doing all these things to give lectures. But when we talk about success, when we talk about building generational wealth, another place to start. So again, I am personally, with the entire Home Ownership and Financial, inviting you to join us on Saturday, October 21st. Probably today is the 10th or the 11th? In 10 days?
Yes.
We'll be here. We'll be having fun, and we'll start the journey of building generational wealth. I wanted to thank every single one of you for following us. So we have the flyer on our website, all the information. Please share it with your community. And it doesn't matter, again, who you are, where you're from, what you look like. Everybody is welcome to this program. Again, all we care about is helping people. Visit our website at usalg.org to get more information. We are on all social media platforms, African Leadership Group Colorado, so to get more information. Until then, we look forward to having you among us on the 21st, on Saturday, 2 p.m. I want to thank you for your time, and we'll be in touch with you soon. Thank you. David, thank you again. Let's get ready. Let's get ready. Thank you so much. Professor Majama, thank you for the amazing work you do in the community. You are amazing. Thank you. See you soon.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.